The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel welcomes you to this edition of the Mayor's and Supervisors Weekly Update, brought to you by...
Each week, our community makes history. Each week, you make history. And each week, there's only one source to turn to for the first take on history. You know what that is? Subscribe to the Sentinel right now to discover the history being made in your own backyard.
The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel. More than just your news, it's your history.
Hey, welcome everyone to this week's edition of the Mayor's and Supervisors Update. I'm Chris Carosa, publisher of the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel, and each week we bring you the goings-on in the towns and villages that we cover. This week we're going to start with Mike Falk, town of Lima. Mike, what's going on in Lima?
Well, Chris, it's curtains for the town hall. That's right, we're putting up curtains upstairs in the great big event space to try to help with some of the extra heat in the summer and a little bit of sound deadening. That work is going on a little bit last week, a little bit this week, and then we'll see. Of course, they shipped us the wrong retention hooks for the sides, but we'll get there. But curtains it is indeed. The Livco Soul effort from the Livingston County Tourism Board is all about that eclipse. That eclipse that's coming up April 8th of next year. They have gone ahead and created a event fund for it, and Livingston County businesses and organizations can apply for different event packages through them. So as an example, if they put in $250, they would actually receive a $750 grant back out, along with a quantity of the eclipse glasses, the ability to use the logo, inclusion in programs and printed materials and such like that. And there's different levels and things. There's business packages and other things too. The livcosoul.com website has details, or anybody that is interested can call me here at the town hall, 582-1130, and I'll make sure you get linked up with the right folks. Of course, we are closed for Juneteenth. If you're seeing this live, that's tomorrow. If you're reading it, it was this past Monday. The HFL School Board had their public hearing on the school resource officers back on the 13th, and they took everybody's public input, and they'll be deliberating on whether or not to be part of that three-way contract with the town of Lima and Lima Christian School to place a school resource officer here in Lima to cover both the schools. They'll deliberate at their next meeting, then they'll be making a choice at that point. And the last point is, if you're seeing this live, smoke testing is about to start in the village of Lima. If you're reading it, it's been going on all week, and there's been smoke pouring out of the ground everywhere because they're testing the sewer systems to see where the leaks are. If you do see the smoke, or if it's affected you in your house, and this is inside the village, the village office number is 624-2210. And that's all I've got, Chris.
All right, thanks, Mike. Well, Rick couldn't be here in person, but he did send me a report, which I will read. This is from Rick Milne, Village of Honeoye Falls Mayor and Monroe County Legislator. Here we go in the Village of Honeoye Falls. We had a great opening for the Good Vibes series this past Tuesday with great attendance for the first night. We have a new band in this series, Thurlow, performing on June 20th, so look forward to that. The Village Board of Trustees meeting for June was moved to the 20th in observance of the Juneteenth holiday on Monday the 19th, in which the village office will be closed. We will be sending some village code reminders to a number of local residents regarding property upkeep, the parking of RVs in driveways for extended periods of time, as well as for unlicensed vehicles. While we work to maintain a balance of understanding issues and maintaining village code, we strive to be consistent. Should you receive a letter and wish to discuss it, you are certainly able to set up a meeting with code enforcement. This was Rick. Rick was happy to attend a DAR, that's Daughters of the American Revolution, meeting this past week with Lynn Menz, the village historian, and Brent Rosiak, Town of Mendon councilperson, and be awarded a U.S. flag that has flown over Constitution Hall at DAR headquarters in honor of Zebulon Norton, and a citation along with the flag. The DAR is a women's organization founded in 1890 with a mission of promoting historic preservation, education, and patriotism by honoring those who served in the Revolutionary War and also supporting families who want to learn more about their genealogical and history in the United States. As far as Monroe County legislature is concerned, this week at our Monroe County legislator meeting, some of the main subject matter that Rick was happy to be involved with was a formal approval of all contracts and agreements for dispensing or dispersing ARPA funding to various programs around the County of Monroe, which has been posted prior by the County of Monroe. Some of the specific funding, approximately $6.4 million, is going directly to various EMS and fire agencies for project requests or purchases they had requested. This was a competitive and very competitive, and we're extremely proud that the Honeoye Falls Mendon ambulance was chosen to receive $84,000 in funding for needed equipment. The legislative body formally voted and accepted a request to budget for and hire 43 additional patrol, jail, and civilian officers for the Monroe County Sheriff's Department. That's MCSD for those keeping track at home. I explained my vote. That was mine. That wasn't Rick's. Rick explained his vote on the subject, which he fully supported, and as a need for a greater ability for the MCSD to provide enhanced support in our local community area. Traditionally, we have had one patrol car covering the Mendon-Honeoye Falls, Rush, and Scottsville, Wheatland areas, which is a big territory. The MCSD does an incredible job, but we need to work to get the whole department or bureau fully staffed. This proposal also provides for a new facility, RIOC, that will serve as a facility staffed by the MCSD team, but will be available for all local organizations of law enforcement, public safety to come together as needed to support one another with resource, intelligence, planning, etc. Further information can be provided if needed. A new program was also approved for county road projects that now include partial funding of sidewalks, specifically when a county road is being redeveloped. In the past, when the county completed a road project, if the project was to include new sidewalks, the town or village had to pay 100% of that cost. The County of Monroe, for new projects moving forward, will now support the cost of the sidewalk portion of the projects up to 50%. This will be very positive and it's additional portion of support to our towns and villages. To be clear, this is only for sidewalk projects that will be tied to County of Monroe road projects. Finally, Rick says he wishes everyone a very happy Father's Day, and to all the fathers out there and to those who serve as fathers in capacity. That was Rick Milne, Village of Honeoye Falls Mayor. So Steve, what do we got going on in Henrietta?
So I just put the finishing touches on the Next Town newsletter with yesterday, submitted it to the press, so it should be coming out sometime this coming week. We've got a lot of information in there about assessment, both the current process, and I also wrote a significant piece on how I think the state should change its means of doing assessment to be a formula-based objective system instead of the current completely subjective system based on market value, because it would save taxpayers a lot of money. In Henrietta, it would save over $500,000 a year. So we'll see what happens. I included in there contact information for their state legislators, since that's how it would have to change, is at the legislature. We have a number of new projects coming in. another senior housing project, which is great because there is certainly a need for affordable senior housing. And, if we can increase the available inventory, that should decrease the rates. Some of these are townhouse based and some are apartment based. So, but again, the more we have available, the better that is for the market, because right now the market's going crazy because there's so little inventory available. And that's about it. Beyond what we've done, progress continues to move forward on the court. We've got this. So relative to when this will air, it'll be tomorrow. Will be our Pride event on Monday at 5:30. And that's been, grassroots organized. Our recreation department supports it, but it's great that, we've have a number of these events in town that are all essentially grassroots organized. We also, the Hindu Temple of Rochester, located on Pinnacle Road in Henrietta, is having their a reconsecration of their temple. That is on the 21st. It's a 5-day celebration. It starts on the 21st. The reconsecration occurs every 12 years. And I do not remember the Hindu name of the celebration other than it begins with Hama. But we're excited to have part of that. And we just completed the one for the expansion, the dedication of the new Buddhist temple at the Wat Pao Lao Buddha Tham, which is also in Henrietta, although one's in the northeast corner, one's in the southwest corner, so they're about as far apart as you can be and still be in Henrietta. But we think it's great that we have these temples for. We have such a wide diversity of cultures, ethnicities, religions within the town. And, so for instance, I was talking to the folks at the Buddha Tham, and they were saying that there's only 3 of these in all of upstate New York. One's in Buffalo, one's here in Henrietta, and one's in Binghamton. And to say how big a deal it is, we had the Laotian ambassador to the United States attended this, along with about 40 visiting Buddhist monks. So it was a really neat celebration. And then a week from this Sunday, so on the 25th, is the temple's food festival, which is always really well attended. So excited for what's going on in town.
All right, thanks, Steve. And now it's over to John Moffett. John, how's Mendon doing?
Great, Chris. Nice to be here again today. A couple of things I wanted to go over today. First of all, the spray park is still temporarily closed. We're very concerned about the slipperiness of the surface, as many of our residents have expressed those concerns to us. We are currently working with a construction attorney to work as a go-between with a contractor about that item and a couple of other items of concern regarding the spray park. The town board recently passed 4 new local laws. They are on the town website, and the one that probably drew the most interest was short-term rentals. So compared to what was in the code before, we now have a law for short-term rentals, which is described as an unhosted event. In other words, the owner is not present or their designee is not present. And it's for 30 days or less. We also modified the bed and breakfast law, for a hosted event. And both of those, as I mentioned, are on our website. Also wanted to mention to people that primary day is coming up. It's at the end of June. It's the last Tuesday in June. The only primary in the town of Mendon is for people who are registered in the Working Families Party. Again, it's not whether or not you vote on that line, it's whether or not you're a registered member of that political party. You will be allowed to vote on primary day. Now, the location of that vote was scheduled to be only one polling place, the community center at 167 North Main Street. We recently have had a fairly serious plumbing problem there, and we're working with the Board of Elections, and people will be notified of a new location if necessary. And that's all I have for today. Thank you.
All right, John, thanks very much. Mike, anything more from you? Nope, seeing none. I want to thank you guys for being here, and thank you all for listening. Remember, if you'd like to watch this, you can see it every Sunday at 1 o'clock by liking our Facebook page or subscribing to our YouTube channel. When it airs at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you will be notified, and there you go. And then let's see what else. That's it. I guess that's it. All right. We'll see you all next week. Bye-bye for now.
Imagine yourself communicating with a difference. Pan-Dimensional Solutions helps you do this. Whether live spectator events, taped broadcasts, or real-time audience-engaging programs, you can benefit immediately from the tools Pan-Dimensional Solutions will share with you. Do you want to make a difference? Contact us at pandimensional.com.